she left me at the gym show last year, and I drove the car to a convenience store and didn't even know where I was.
Oh,
Oh,
geez.
that's not good.
And
Yeah.
and it was so bad that she was afraid that she was going to have to put me in a nursing home. And then
Yeah.
we found out what it was. The VA was over medicating me.
Yeah.
Well,
And I mean, I literally was lost. I mean, I couldn't remember anything,
right.
wouldn't listen to instructions. It was horrible.
Yeah.
Now I understand why people talk about they over medicate the old.
Hmm.
Because unfortunately, I celebrated my 75th birthday a few days ago.
Oh,
Oh,
happy birthday.
congratulations.
God bless.
75. I'm looking at that going, when I was in high school, I didn't think I was going to make that because Vietnam was going on. And I figured I was going to get drafted and shot
Yeah.
Yeah.
because my dad had all the luck. He'd gone all the way through 4 years of World War II, had grenades, one blow up between his legs, got shot a couple of times and things like that. I figured he'd used up all the luck,
Eh,
and I didn't want to go. Of course, he
Yeah.
didn't want me to go either. His idea was Vietnam sucked. And of course, now we buy stuff from Vietnam.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, clothes you can't buy. Clothes. It's not from Vietnam. Everything is. Yeah.
I got a hand cart from Vietnam,
Yeah.
you know, but yeah, she's decided she wants to just get out of the full timing um, with this business and traveling because she likes to travel too, but she doesn't want to have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. I mean,
So,
you guys put in your time.
uh, yeah, I think I should be getting parole pretty soon.
Mm. So when I'm out that way, I need to get the list of Renaissance fairs because I want to hit all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I definitely know you want to hit the one up here in Phoenix.
Really, that's a good one.
It's a good one. It's a big one. There's one also in your direction of the coast, I think in North Carolina. That's a 6 or 8 week fair,
Oh yeah.
and yeah,
You know when it
and
is?
yes, it's back. Can't tell you the exact dates, but it's in August.
Okay. Yeah, let
And
me know because that's the kind of stuff we want to go see.
yeah,
You
I'll
ever
let you know.
you ever
Because
do the one in Maryland?
no, no,
Because we have it's like 8 or 10 weeks or something like that. We have a
Yeah.
big one up here.
I just yeah. Oh yeah, even Texas has a huge one.
There's one in New York too, up in Roscoe every year.
Yeah,
That's another big one.
So you mentioned that you're going to buy a trailer. So when I was at Schoolie Swarm, I met a guy there that has the MCI big bus, and he pulls a trailer behind it, and it has he makes knife sheaths,
hmm
and it's set up really nice. And he puts his Jeep inside when they're traveling, but then he pulls it out and it turns it into a shop. Man, the walls, flip up tables, really nice setup. And I was kind of on the fence about doing something like that, but I think I'm going to get a trailer and put my leather stuff in that, and only do certain shows, like certain schoolie events, or go do something like you do, and and then when I'm not, I'll just pull a Jeep.
yeah.
Yep. So I think I might do that.
Well, it's good to do that. We bought a leather machine to learn to sew with,
Mhm.
but I went nutsoid before we even got a chance to use it. It's still sitting at the house unused,
Yeah.
Oh,
and
geez.
so when we get back home, I'm going to have to start learning to use it.
Yeah, I love sewing, man. It's like a therapeutic thing.
It would be, but I'll guarantee you, if you do like they do at Leah does at this, well, she does the Arizona Fair and the one in the East Coast. Uh, People ask, what do you do during the week? Make product. What do you do in the weekend? Work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And be careful, because you could go down a rabbit hole and find out. I work more now that I retired than I did before I retired.
Yeah.
Copy
And,
that.
That's easy to do. Yep.
and that's why it's going to be interesting to see what happens now, because I admit I'm getting tired of, well, I tell you, I'm just tired of people,
There you go.
because um, the trouble with retail sales is you run into way too many.
Idiots.
Oh, God.
There we go. Oh, look, Brian, poor Brian is.
Yep, Brian's sitting over there going,
Brian's like,
yep,
yep.
yep.
See, my theory is I'm going to sell something and get out of Dodge before they come back to mess with me.
Oh no, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen
No,
these days.
oh, no.
Yeah.
That don't happen, because they'll find you the next year.
If
Yeah,
you,
right.
it doesn't matter. If you have one of these,
They'll find you.
they will find you,
Yeah,
or they will text the hell out of you. Trust me.
my wife almost got into a physical altercation with one of the customers last weekend, because she walked in and the first thing she started doing was bitching about everything in the shop. It's not sewn right. It's not this. It's not that. And she was even criticizing some of the things my wife had just personally finished.
Ooh.
And if you know I know my wife, you guys don't. She is very critical about what she does.
Hmm.
And if it's got a defect, she won't put it out. Or she'll sell it as a defect and let people know. And that's the same way with Leah. But and the lady kept complaining, and then tried to steal a damn snap collar.
Wow. She's trying to
I
throw
mean,
you off the game.
she walked out of the door with, "Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot I clipped it onto my neck."
See, that's the kind of person who needs tased.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you can't, because damn it, if you get a fair that makes about a third of your income, you have to keep going.
Yeah.
And you can ask Keith and Brian about customers that just bitch about everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Keith, if I come down towards your way, what's good to go to?
You want to do? There's like Busch Gardens amusement park. If you want to go on rides.
Nah,
No.
I'm too old for that.
I mean,
I
you
think
can go
my
over
wife-
to Clearwater Beach.
Yeah, my
The
wife wants
waves
to
aren't
see,
as good as the other side.
Is it? My wife wants to see some alligators and manatees. What do you call them? Manatees?
Yeah. Yeah, manatees. I don't. There's a place down over here, right down, literally like 10 miles away,
Yeah.
by the power plant, that the manatees all hang out. Usually in the winter, they might still be there. I haven't been there in a while. But they go there. They go over to over by the power plant, because the power plant dumps out all warm water.
Warm water, yeah.
So then so they're in the cold water. So they come over there. I mean, hundreds of them just go hang out over there during the winter, because the water
Really?
is so much warmer. And then when it starts
Yeah.
getting summer, they go out and go find cooler. There's like up in Crystal River, the manatees will go there during the summer, because the water is like whatever degree, 70 something degrees all year long, and it's warmer. It's be cooler than, or maybe warmer. Let me see. It'll be 73. The other water will be hotter. So yeah, they'll want to be hanging out in a temperature that is constant.
Oh, cool.
So I don't know if they're there yet. I know in the summer they are. Yeah, I don't know what else. Like I said, there's Clearwater Beach, but you already went on the other side, and
Yeah.
Daytona and stuff like that over there. There's the waves, and the beach is a lot nicer over there.
Are they?
Yeah, this is just on the Tampa Bay side, where I mean, it's nice. It's
Gulf
nice,
of
but
America
it's
side.
It's the Gulf of America side, right? Exactly.
There you go.
Oh God, don't get me started.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're probably gonna go to Orlando for a couple days and then maybe head that way.
Go to White
Yeah.
Castle.
Yeah, go to White Castle.
Try to drive through with the bus.
Yeah.
Ugh, I don't think that would fit.
No.
I'm thinking about that drive-through. I don't think it's kind of
Yeah.
tight.
So does anybody
I might be there. I
have
might be there on Saturday in Orlando.
Are you?
Yeah, I don't know where you gonna be.
Yeah.
Daytona.
Let me know. I'm actually staying at a Host Harvest in between Orlando and Daytona. So
Okay.
I'll probably be in my Jeep. I can go either way. You know what I mean? I'll go down to Orlando for a little bit. I got to visit some friends down there.
Yeah.
But maybe Saturday or somewhere around there.
Yeah, they're
that'd be
having the what the hell's it called? The EV Expo or something like that. They're having all electric cars, electric bikes, and anything that's electric at the Orlando Convention Center, I think.
You know,
I don't
speaking of
think
that,
they'd think it was funny if you brought a fire extinguisher in with you, would they?
A lot
It
of
it won't do good. I mean, I need a lot of fire extinguishers. I need like a pool to bring with me.
you know, speaking of that, Keith, I just found something. Something came out in the Post today. Get a load of this BYD. It's a Chinese
Oh.
company. It's the largest EV maker in China, right? They announced an ultra-fast EV charging system that says it's nearly as quick as a fill-up at the pump.
Yep.
They're saying their flash chargers can provide a full charge for their latest EVs within 5 to 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they said similar to amount to fuel a tank, and they plan to build more than 4,000 of the new charging stations across China. I just want to know what the hell kind of flow they got going through that lightning pipe, man, because that's
Gotta
I think
be
they do
some
two
juice.
chargers. They get two pipes. They get two cords going through it to charge it.
okay. They didn't give any more information, so I was curious
Yeah,
about
I think I saw something and like, oh yeah, they charge them with two of them. I think the batteries are layered, so this battery's getting charged and this battery's getting, the different banks of batteries.
That's still a lot of current.
That's
That is. I wouldn't be.
I wish they would have given some numbers
Yeah.
for the geeks of us here that want to know that kind of stuff, because I'm curious what kind of current they're throwing down there. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Don't sound safe to me.
And I'm sure they're doing it just to really be the first to do it, because that's one of the people's biggest concerns is the long time to charge if you're traveling.
Yep.
Right.
So, but that means you got to buy their car too.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Right. So
I wonder what's stopping them from doing a factory here and just selling them here. That's why we don't have them here, because there's China and there's the tariffs on them. But what's stopping them from building a factory and just putting all the other ones out of business?
Well, they've talked about that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the a handful of people say, okay, fine, we'll build and
yeah,
it's. I mean, like you said, it's got good and bad mixed into that, because it's either you're going to let you're still letting the bad guy in.
yeah,
but then you're like, okay, well, we got jobs now, or we got this going on. But like I said, it's all a slippery slope. The way you're playing that.
Yeah.
I saw electric. Huh?
I was going to say, don't let them into California, because they've told us at times, don't charge your cars because the grid's overloaded.
I was just talking to my neighbor about that today. We were talking about electric cars, and I said, the first time we get a heat wave here in the summer, they put out an initiative. They put out the thing, hey,
brownouts,
set your ACs at 72, to save the grid. Yeah, so it's all just a joke.
Ray, do you have the thing where it's they charge electricity based on what time it is?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I got that also.
Yeah.
So it's more expensive to charge between 3 and 7.
Right.
So you can't charge your electric car between 3 and 7.
Well, you can. It'll just cost you more. So it depends. I mean, everybody's lifestyle is going to dictate what they do.
Yep.
And if you have to charge, you got to charge. So, it's crazy.
I haven't noticed that much difference in my electric bill since I've had the car. It's not
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I mean, compared to, I would have been buying gas anyway, so it's probably
Okay.
Yeah, offset it.
wipes it. Yeah, it's probably offsets. What were you gonna say? Yeah, what were you gonna say?
So you're the electric guy. We're looking at maybe buying some electric bikes.
Well,
Do you have any suggestions?
go to that thing. No, I don't. Oh, what is this one? It's like my son keeps watching videos. So you got to get this one. It's like some dirt bike looking thing, and it hauls ass.
So a couple people had them on at the campground,
Yeah.
and some people said they want to buy mountain bikes and then put the kit on it from Amazon. But then some people
Right.
say, well, you might as well spend a couple more bucks and get one from a company.
Yeah.
So I
The
don't know.
one that my Suron. Oh God. There's one. So it's a Suron. He goes,
Mhm.
Dad, I want to get this Suron. I go, I look it up. I'm looking up right now. $3,000, $6,000.
Oh, sure.
That's what I was like. You're not getting that.
Tell me,
I'll get it, but you're not getting that. Yeah,
My
Suron
God, that's
USA.
Car.
But they haul butt. I was watching the videos and they're guy was going 80 miles an hour on the thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's like,
Wow.
oh, this thing has how many horsepower? 80 horsepower or something like that.
That's
The
fast.
bike weighs
Wow.
yeah. And I'm like 80 horsepower on a bike on a dirt. I'm like, it's freaking a lot.
yeah.
Yeah, it is. Hold on, my cat locked himself in the bathroom. Let me go let him out.
Doesn't matter.
So who else had a winter project?
I don't have winter.
Jeez.
I don't have winter projects.
You weren't
I
working
have
on anything this winter?
No, because there's no difference. I just work on them all the time.
Okay. Well, in the period of time we call winter. Yeah, we got a program.
No,
here.
I've been really just repairing my wife's 2014 Honda Odyssey, trying to keep that thing going.
Really?
She wants to keep it, so I just keep fixing it and fixing it.
What kind of repairs
fixing
you been doing?
Everything: O2 sensors, brakes. Did I do timing? I don't know if I did timing. I think I did the timing adjuster, the whatever the thing was. I don't know. I've just whatever is making noises and wearing out.
Yeah,
fixing
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So it almost has 200,000 miles on it, and
Wow.
just doing stuff to it.
Right,
Keep
right.
it on the road.
Yeah.
That's the problem. They don't rust out, so you just can keep fixing them.
Sure.
If it rusted out, you'd be like, it's not worth it. Get a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everything
that's
else
way
is fine.
Ohio, man. I'm
Yeah.
down here in Florida, and I haven't seen a rusty truck yet. It's
No.
When
making
I
me
see-
pretty mad.
when I see a rusty car, I'm like, holy cow! Come here, kids. Go check this out. Let me show you this. Look at this.
I'm like, oh my god, look at these trucks.
Yeah.
They're-
Well, that's that. What's that one TikTok guy? That Chris talked about. I can't remember, but the guy goes around and he's at a wrecking yard, and he goes around and he kicks the rust, and my kids get a kick out of it. Holy cow! Just kicks it, and his foot goes through the fender. It's like, yeah, Auto Parts City. That's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Auto Parts
So
City.
the
on
wife,
TikTok.
man, if I see a Chevy or a GMC truck down here, 4-door, it might be sitting at home. If I can find
Yeah.
one with a blown motor.
Yeah, don't come to my house. You'll see my two. You'll be stealing them.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, you got the GMCs.
Yep. I got 2 quadra-steer trucks and with no rust.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
I got a tow package on the bus. Watch it.
Yep. But I don't know if did I ever tell you the story? I don't know if I should. I'll tell it. So I was in the G8 club, and I would have, and I used to do this when I had the Cyclones Typhoon clubs. We would have like wrench sessions. Everybody would come over, would work on it on the trucks. So then I did the same thing for the G8s, the Pontiac G8s, and we had a bunch of people over, and we were working on, we just exhaust, doing whatever on the cars. We're gonna have a lift, so we put the guys' cars on lifts and stuff. I think one we spent, I don't know how many hours doing a whole full exhaust system, headers and exhaust. That was one guy's car. I think we finished at like 1 in the morning or whatever. It's like, oh, this is, we were having a blast. It was fun. Then there's this guy that had a shop that does G8 repair. He does LS swaps, and he had a G8, so he was in the club, and he was he was doing repairs and stuff like that on the cars. And he got and he heard that I was doing this stuff, and he got mad at me. Oh, you're having people come over and work on the cars, and you're taking business away from me.
Oh,
Really?
I was like, no.
there's enough to
These
go around.
guys, yeah, these guys weren't going to. Gosh, these guys weren't going to go to have you do the work anyway. They're more hands-on guys. They're, that's why they came over. It's not like I did the work. I was just helping. They were doing, we were
Right.
all doing the work.
Right.
But yeah, I used to do it all the time. We used to always get together. Once a year, we would get together and just work on the cars.
If he was smart, he would have came and helped people work on their cars, because
Yeah.
most people won't work on everything. They'll do a little bit here and there, and if he helped
And then
them,
you yeah. Oh, hey, I want to do a cam swap. We wouldn't do a cam swap in a one day, or he would be the one that, all right, drop the car off, and yeah, he could have been advertising his business, and I would have been fine with that. He can
Right.
come and tell us how to do it, but no, he's closed-minded, that guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So anybody know how to change fuel pressure sensor?
Pressure sensor.
Fuel pressure sensor. Well, you got to know where it is first on an 06 Rendezvous. Never worked on one of them.
A fuel pressure switch on a diesel pump.
No,
What are you
fuel
doing?
pressure sensor
No, had it
on a Rendezvous.
on the Rendezvous.
What's a rendezvous?
Buick
like
Rendezvous.
Buick, yeah.
It's an Aztec, basically Aztec.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh.
We had a
Sensor.
I had a
What do you mean
2004.
fuel pressure regulator?
Yeah, that's what I think. I don't even know where it is on that car.
Regulator should be up on the throttle body, up on the fuel rail, rather.
YouTube it.
Yeah.
You have to take this, depressurize the system, and that's just a matter of, unscrew and replace.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody on YouTube has done it, and they'll show you exactly where to go and how to change it and everything.
And even what tools to use.
Yeah. Yep. YouTube's great.
Yeah, I've done a couple things on some of my cars from YouTube videos,
Oh yeah.
and my washing machine.
Yeah, I've done my washing
right.
machine, my refrigerator.
I'll tell you, it used to be, we used to joke about YouTube University and, how it was a bad thing. But now there's a lot of good stuff. And a lot of guys I know in shops, they go to YouTube and they look
go to
it
YouTube,
up. They look it up. It now became more important to know how to vet the information.
Yeah. Yep.
Or the person. And I've gotten a lot of good stuff off of there too. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No doubt.
So Keith, what's your address so I can send the transport truck?
Oh, sorry.
Come on, man. You can't be stingy with the rust-free trucks.
Isn't it
this
called
one-
Mar-a-Lago or something like that?
Yeah, yeah, go there. Send the
Yeah,
truck
go
there.
there.
See what happens.
Go there with an empty trailer. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, don't you here to pick up the cars? Actually, you're pretty close. You should go. Pull
Go
up
to
in the Jeep.
Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, go to Mar-a-Lago.
I go there and hit a couple golf balls.
There you go. You're not that far away, I don't think.
Yeah, I think it's about an hour and a half from here.
You got to go south, maybe.
Yeah, yep.
I don't even know where it is.
I thought it was down lower Florida, but it's up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, since you're gonna be stingy with the trucks, has anybody got a 8-foot tall enclosed trailer?
Oh, good luck with that.
Gosh, 8 foot.
Yeah, the guy I was with, his 8-foot, it was nice in there, man. He had cabinets up high.
That's
Yeah,
got to be that's a custom built, right? Because that's not a normal size, is it? 8 foot?
No, I think you can buy 'em.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't think his was custom. He had solar on the roof, mini split in it, air conditioner. He had it going on, man.
Did he have the
Yep.
solar power in the mini split?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yep. So this mini split here up front runs off solar too.
Right.
Let me see. You see it? That one there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that one I can hook directly to my solar panels and
That'll
never
work.
have to hook it to anything else. Just straight to it.
You could probably take the tape off there.
Well, I don't want it's not hooked up yet, so I don't want the
Oh,
little flap thing to come down. Yeah.
I put so many mini splits. I have 2 mini splits sitting in my shed in my shop I don't even know they broke. They don't work.
Oh.
And I don't know if I should try fixing them or I don't know.
From what I've heard and seen on YouTube, because I have 6 of them in my house, and I've looked at different things online, it's usually the circuit board in the control unit that goes bad.
Oh, really?
And certain ones were more prone than
All
others
right, I'll see you.
to going bad. So
I think
Yeah,
I
check it
replaced the
out.
circuit board in one of them because the water was leaking. And it just leaked on the circuit board. It rusted
Oh,
the
wow.
board out.
Oh, yeah.
that's
It
not,
also dripped. Well, there's nobody living in the house to say, hey, this is leaking. So it just leak from I guess condensation or the tube got clogged, and it ran down the wall, rotted the wall out, and
Wow.
it was
Oh,
a
God.
mobile home. After that, we're like, just throw it. We were renting a plot in a mobile home park. This is for my mother-in-law, and the mobile home wasn't worth after that whole wall was destroyed and destroyed the floor. It's so funny. It's like the particle board, and as
Yeah.
soon as it got wet, it just freaking disintegrated.
yeah.
Yeah, it swells up and falls apart.
Wells up and it fell apart. I walked in, I almost went through it. If it had like vinyl flooring, if that wasn't there, it would have fell in the ground.
You were talking earlier about manufacturing of these RVs and the amount of money and the quality of it. That's just like my tool truck. My first one, the way it was built was one way, and then of course the other one, 16 years later, I get one, and man, it is just garbage. And I've had to redo so much. Actually, like I said, with the ceiling leaking, I've had I got to repair it again. I got to develop another leak, and like you said, those things just twist and flex so much, and they just fall apart. I got the aluminum staircase going into the truck is all cracked up, and like I said, it's just constantly, and I dumbfounded because my first truck, she may not have been a beauty queen, but she's nowhere near there was nowhere near that this one's turned out. And this one, man, when stuff falls off, it just falls off down the road and gets gone.
It's funny because last week Matt Michael did a video, his weekly video, and he was saying how he redid the tools on the roof of his truck. And he says, people don't realize how much weight is on that roof. And he was showing how the particle board, the panels he have, all the screws, they were pulling through from the weight. So he had to go through and
tighten them up
and put washers under them to spread the load. He said it's ridiculous. I never really thought of it, but yeah, that's got to be hundreds of pounds up there.
Yeah, my old truck never had a problem. It was actually kind of funny. The first time I was driving, and of course, it's always the game we play when you're driving down the road, because you hear something fall and hit the floor. So you're always like, what was that? What was that thump, or what was that crash, or what was that bang, And you take a guess, and then you go back and look, and it's either a socket rail. The worst, though, is when that 81-piece tap and die set falls, and the case comes open, and you hear the shit splatter all over, or the 29-piece drill bit set, because that's just a mess. You're all. But going along the line, I was going and. It was funny because, it was a pretty loud crash in the back, and I'm like, holy crap. I'm thinking, did I forget to lock a toolbox drawer, or, I didn't unstrap one. I've had one where I forgot, I unstrapped it and forgot to strap it back. And that one rolling around was a pretty interesting scenario.
Oh, wow.
But, and I went back and half the roof fell off because those
Wow.
screws, they came and that was all laying half of it. And I was like, God, I mean, so I try, monthly kind of walk around. It's like that general maintenance. You check the water and the batteries in the back. Yeah, you check your tire pressure, and then you run around with your screwdriver and tighten up the screws on the ceiling.
Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy. So
next, you mentioned tire pressure. I bought a tire pressure thingamajiggy that shows me on the dash my tires.
oh yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Hold on, let me grab the box. Got it right here, I think, in my couch. I got storage.
was it Bluetooth thing? You put
Yeah. You put the sensors on.
Put the sensors on the valve stem, and it tells you what they're reading.
Yeah. There we go, right here.
Oh yeah, it's nice.
So it comes. This one I bought. It has 6 sensors, but you can buy more sensors, or you can buy a kit that has for trailers, for tow vehicles. So here's the sensor. This is number 4. I didn't put it on yet because.
So is it about the size of a cap?
Yeah, it screws right on the cap.
Yeah, it's a little bit bigger, but
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, I didn't put I got 2 more to put on the inside tires, but I can't reach them because the valve stem's real deep.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to put those extenders on.
Yeah.
The valve stem extenders, then I'm going to put the other 2 on. But it's pretty nice.
Word of advice on the extenders, or actually, I don't know. They have 2 different versions. They have ones that extend it out so that you can do it, or they have ones that link up so that, when you're filling a tire, it's filling both of them up.
Right.
Or
I don't
if you
like
have
that
one
idea.
that's starting to go low, it works out. It's just that you just don't want them both to go flat. I mean, if you got to notice it and not have it go. But whatever you do, spend a little bit of extra money and stay away from Amazon or the cheap ones, because I had some on the truck, and somehow it got damaged, and the guy that I bought the truck from, I guess he was going to replace it. That was one of the things that was wrong. He had torn one side of the truck up and had caught the brace. I mean, because I used to have the ones that were connected together and how they stuck out. And I don't know, it was messed up, and it would leak, but he had a set of just extenders, and I put them on, and man, it was like every couple weeks I was having, like, I can't believe my tire pressures are changing this much, or whatever. I was just always putting air in the tires, and so finally one day I got the old spray 9 out and sprayed them down. And it wasn't much there, but I would touch it and it would leak, and there was, with the way it was crimped. And of course I then did the same thing, bought a cheap pair, put it on, had the same problem. And after that I said, okay, I'll spend a few extra bucks, and never had a problem after that. Yeah. But by the time I went through all that stuff, it was just a pain in the butt. Especially if I had to do it all over again, I would get the maybe, because I got to do the rear tires coming up here, maybe next month. I think I'm going to go back and put the longer angled metal pipes on the inner ones.
That's what I think I'm going to use those.
Yeah, because I had those on my old truck and never had a problem trying to put air in the tire. And this one had the smaller ones. And man, that's just sometimes, I mean, if somebody drove by sometimes when I'm putting air in the tire, they think I'm making love to it. But man, you're all down in it and rolling around and got my ass sticking up in the air. And I'm like, I'm like, damn, dude, this is like a hell of a workout just to put air in the tire.
Yeah.
So
That's why I got a screw-on extender, a flexible one,
Actually, I'm gonna get off.
and I just screw it on when I'm going to put air into the tire
yeah,
and take it off. Because otherwise, like you're talking about, those extenders and that, they leak all the time.
yeah.
And, you know,
Hey guys, I gotta get off. I gotta take care of something.
Okay,
All
Jim.
right.
All right.
Take
thank
it
you,
easy.
Jim.
Take care,
Have
guys.
a good weekend.
We had a really nice, it was like a size of a screwdriver. It was very similar to, but it had a hollow end here where you would hook the air hose would go to, and then on this end it was hollowed and it had an end to go onto a tire, to put air in, and it was about this size. It was 20 years ago that we used to sell them. Really nice, because on the rear tires when I had that angled thing, it fit real nice and it was easy to hold on to, and you weren't spinning around with a flexible hose. And I stuck it someplace. I probably, unfortunately, set it on the ground when I was doing something and drove off.
Yeah.
And I've never been able to find it again. It's one of those things that.
So speaking of driving off, the other day, first time I put gas in the Jeep, so I take the cap off and it don't have the little
Strap.
holder thing on. Yeah, so I'll set it on the fender. Filled up my gas can.
Later.
About 4 hours later, I noticed no gas cap. I'm like, oh.
You didn't get a check engine light?
No, I don't know why. I was like, this thing should be running rough. But
What year is that Jeep?
it's 14.
2014.
Yeah,
You should have gone through a drive cycle, and that son of a bitch should have came down saying a massive leak.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't.
Uh-oh.
I was surprised.
She's been played with.
Yeah.
Maybe. She's running good though. I mean,
Oh,
Knock
so
on wood, yeah.
those sensors, how do you see the pressure? I'm assuming probably your phone, but is there another way? Is there another screen or something it hooks up to?
oh yeah, it comes with a screen that goes on your dash.
Oh, okay.
Hold on.
Nice.
Actually, hold on, let me grab it.
And another thing on the dash.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like a cockpit. Oh yeah. Let me turn it on for you.
Oh, that's not too bad. A little small thing.
See, and it shows you your vehicle.
Yeah.
You can set it to show different vehicles, and it will run through each tire.
Huh.
Hold on, let me see here.
It's pretty cool.
If I was going to keep my truck, I was going to buy one of those because I had a tire go flat on me between one gas station and the next,
Yeah.
and I didn't catch it.
Yeah.
I
I had an inner one that went flat on me one time, and that was weird. Like I said, it was one of the first times. Now, like I said, it's funny driving that truck, exactly picking up everything. I guess the only time it was ever weird, the weirdest venture was when that toolbox, when I left it untied and it was rolling around in the back, and 2,500 pounds rolling around in the back of the truck. And I was like, man, what the hell? I kept like stopping and getting out, walking around, kicking the tire, beating on the tires because it felt like because the truck was all going around turns. And man, I'm yanking on stuff, climbing underneath the truck, looking at stuff, and happened to walk by the door to get into the back of the truck. And I walk by and it's all black. Can't see in the truck. And I realized that was the toolbox, and it started coming down the door.
Oh, jeez. Wow.
So I was like, holy shit. So I had to get my lift gate because I couldn't open the door because the box was pushed up against the door. So I couldn't open the door. So I had to go back, put the lift gate down, come in through the back way, and then get the floor jack. Thank God I had a floor jack on the truck. Thank God it was a tool truck. Got the floor jack out, had to roll it up and jack the wheel so I can get it up off the step because one wheel fell down in the step well, and I couldn't pull it up. So I had to jack it up, pull it in, pushed it back in the pocket, put it in there. It was a little scratched up from bouncing around in the back of the truck. And went to my next stop, and the guy said, "Man, look at that box." And I said, "Yeah, look at it. It's a hell of a deal. It's a scratch and dent sale." Sold
Yeah.
the box. Thing rolled around in the back of the truck. I tell you, man.
Always something.
Yeah. So double check your straps before you leave, or make sure you get guys that unlock a toolbox to look at them, and if you're not paying attention or realize, and when one of those drawers come open, they really 2 or 3 turns, and next thing you know, the drawer it busts the slides and it comes out, and you makes a mess.
So I got a question for you guys. You might be able to help me. So when we get to campgrounds or wherever to park the bus, we got to level it out. Man, it's so hard to get your vehicle level. So I want to make some kind of levelers, maybe electric, because it don't have to pick up a lot of weight. It just has to move your vehicle a little bit.
Well, a long time ago on Motormouth Radio, we had this discussion with Chris about leveling, because I just went through this with the Mustang when I put it on jack stands, trying to get it level. And they do make jack stands that have a spin point so that you can spin them.
Nice.
And I don't know if I still have it. It might be in my old phone.
What the hell was he trying to level?
Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was trying to level something. I don't know, working on that boat of his. And he was talking about, and I sent a picture, I guess, on the text line. Maybe I can look on. Oh no, it must have been to you. And it was a jack stand. They're called camping or RV jack stands.
Okay.
And they have a swivel head on top.
Oh,
and
I have those.
And you can adjust to get the right level.
I've even seen them like scissor jacks too. Where it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so I have the ones that spin up like a floor, like a
Bottle jack.
Or what do you call it? Yeah. No, not a bottle jack, but it's like a jack stand, but it spins up.
Oh,
Yeah.
But I got to get under the vehicle. I want to hit a button.
Oh, bougie. Well,
Yeah.
man, all you gotta do is they have those.
he must have something.
Summit has them. They have those jacks that lift up the cars, and they're built right into the body. And you hook an airline right up to it, and it shoots and it blows them up, shits them.
All right.
And all you gotta do. I mean, I'm sure you probably have to figure a way of regulating it, but it's probably just like the lift gate in the back. You could probably hook a motor and have it Bluetooth. I tried a Bluetooth for my lift gate. I tried a Bluetooth thing, but it was just too sensitive. I couldn't get that. I'd go 1 inch past the door or 1 inch before the door. I couldn't get. I'm over there bumping it, trying to get it to line up so I can roll the box out. I was like, I'll just go back to the old controller. Yeah, but they had.
I have a Bluetooth. What do you call it? Leveler. It shows you your vehicle unlevel. So when you're pulling up on your jacks, you can see if your bus is getting level. It's pretty slick, but I don't think keep moving the boards and the ramps and stuff.
Yeah, I
Oh,
don't
let me
think.
pull
I
it up.
think it's a pain. That's always a pain in the butt trying to get that thing leveled. I do the same thing
Yeah.
every once in a while. I get in a crazy spot where unloading a toolbox, and I try to get the. If anything, I want the truck to be leaning forward a little bit so that the box won't roll off the back of the lift gate. It will roll into the truck. It won't go as far. And because I've had a few of them where I didn't think I was that far off, and once those boxes start to move, man, they're moving, dude. You ain't stopping it.
Yeah.
And I've had
I got my unit turned off, or I would show you. It's pretty slick. It shows you the vehicle from the top and the side where it's not level. Matter of fact, let me turn it on. I'll show you. Hold on.
So, Brian, what about like a winch or even a come along? If you could attach it to the box to kind of help slow it down.
You can do that. The only problem is they have something that if you want. The only problem that you have is because you're in the center of the truck doing this, you can't have anything fixed, because then when people are trying to walk in the truck, you got to step over this winch or whatever or thing, and the cable. They have them in some trucks, and it's a pain because that thing's where you walk. It's right in the center of the aisle when it comes out. Oh yeah, it's nice. Now
So it shows you front and back and side to side. So you see, I'm a little on the driver's side, down a little bit, and my back is down.
Right, 4 inches, yeah.
So while you're moving, it's actually showing you. So when you get backing up onto your ramp or whatever, it's pretty slick.
Yeah.
Louis, I gotta say something. If I didn't know you, I would say you're an Asian guy, because you are so into that new tech stuff, and like all the Asian guys I know are like, they gotta have new Bluetooth. They love it. They eat it up.
I just have a little level, and I have air shocks, and I just put it however I want in the back.
A white guy. You got a little level. That's all.
A little level on the dash. I go, all right, we're good.
So basically, when it depends on if I'm doing a really big box by myself, I have an extra strap that I hook to the bottom of the wheels, and then I hook it to the inside of the truck, and I have it's got a ratcheting on it. And I just let it out slowly, and when I'm coming down, I do have a E-track on the lift gate where I can actually strap it down and hook it, because I got a small cable. Small strap that has a J hook in it that I can hook into a wheel, and then I put it into the E cable, and it won't go, because I've had one get away from me. And thank God it was a Snap-on box. And the only reason why it was a 3-bay box, so it was 78 inches long.
Wow.
And when it went off the truck, when the front wheels went off, I was 3 feet up in the air. I mean, it was up in the air, and when it went off, it fell, and the body of the toolbox stopped, so it was teetering on the lift gate.
Okay.
So I was able to it was kind of funny. I was holding on to the box, and I was like stretching, trying to get to the controller, and I couldn't get to the controller. So this dude was walking by, and his eyes got about that big because he's seeing this box hanging, and I'm holding on. I was like, "Hey, dude, give me that controller." And he's like, "This thing?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, I said, "Just push the down button. Just either push the down button or give me the controller." So he finally gave me the controller.
Dude, how much money you got on you? So
I'm holding the box. He gives me the controller, and I bring it down, and he was like, "Holy crap!" So because it had a snap-on box, because it was a snap-on box, they only have 4 wheels.
Yeah.
Now, if it was a Matco box, it would have had 6. It would have gone right off. It would have been a freight train right off the box into the ground because it never, when it fell, it dragged across the bottom of the box. And that's what stopped it. It was teetering. So after that, I said, okay. And that was, like I said, I've been lucky through the years, all the years of doing it, that I've never lost a box. Really lost. I mean, there's guys that have dropped them or have them come off, and it really makes a mess.
Yeah.
So, but after that, I said, okay, I got to put some safety in. I got to put some straps so that
won't happen
at
again.
least if I tie it to the truck, it can only go so far.
Right.
So,
all right.
but I tell them when guys say they want to help me, I tell them, man, I said, this thing starts to go, move out of the way.
Oh, hell
it
yeah.
will crush you, dude.
Yeah.
It's, 2,500 pounds or whatever on some of those boxes.
Right.
It's a lot of weight falling.
And that's empty.
That's empty.
Empty, yeah.
Yeah.
So now to back up a bit, talking about winter projects. I forgot. I got this steering column I got to put in. My winter projects become spring projects because it's like
We didn't have a winter.
It's too cold in the winter. I got a couple more things now for my power. I showed these to Chris on Sunday, but one of the things I want to do is I want to add that wiper controller, windshield wiper controller. It goes between the switch and the motor, which is no big deal. The switch and the harness, but you have to put a power and ground to it. And on my car, I have the stock fuse box, not a lot of extra taps, and I'm kind of out of taps. So what I did was I bought this. It's an add-on fuse box. So it's a 6-circuit fuse box that I'll stick somewhere under there, put a power and ground to it, and I will then be able to add a few more taps. But then under the hood, I'm having trouble there too, because now I want to put electric fans on the car. So I got to wire 2 more relays. And one of the things my friend Kevin and I do, we go to the cruise nights, and we're always making fun, and we're taking pictures of the guys, like how many things can they stick on the battery terminals? It starts to look like an octopus. And I got a few on mine too, because a lot of stuff has to go to the battery, and it's starting to bother me. So what I did was I bought this. So it's a 6-circuit relay box with fuses. The problem is it's got a predetermined cable that's like only this long. So I had to find some place that close to the battery.
You can change that.
Well, basically what I'm doing is I'm building like a framework around the front of my battery that I can mount that to, and then it'll hook right up to the positive cable, and I can power stuff off of it. You find out real fast how fast you run out of room in an engine compartment. Yeah. And I hate adding more stuff, but I got to do it. I need the.
Can you do it on the backside under the fender?
Well, on my car, the battery is on the driver's side. It's on the left side, up in the front. And I have that cove, that empty part in front of the fender well. The problem is that's where I already stuck the headlight relays.
Yeah.
And at one time I had a problem with, I had a headlight that was giving me an issue, and I had to diagnose it. So I had to get to the relays, and it was stuffed up in front of the battery, nice and out of the way. Well, now they were nice and out of the way. Yeah. So I couldn't get at them. I had to literally just pull them, or pull them around to the side. So this will let me, give me that availability. Unfortunately, I got to put it right. You got to put it where you can get at it. Is all it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wish this was stuff I would have thought of when I was building the car, a long time ago, because I could have. I don't know what I would have done, but I, might have been able to do something different. But, so now it's got to be done.
For the days of my '72 Chevy pickup, I had enough room under that hood. I could sit on the fender well and work on the engine when it was raining.
Yeah.
Haven't had any vehicle with that much room since.
I
Yeah.
Pop Squirrel, I typically do actually climb in under the hood on a lot of cars I'm working on. I'll just climb up in and get on the engine just so I can do stuff because I'm not tall, so stretching only goes so far, and I'll climb in there. And sometimes I get my foot stuck because you put it down and you're like resting on a sway bar or something, and then you try and get out and your foot is stuck. You can't get out. Like, oh shit, I'm stuck.
You got it's. I wish I was small because the other day when I was in the back here cleaning up the cutting out the inner shock towers. I mean, wheel wells. And then I said, and the gas tank is removed, so there's a big square there, And I said, oh, I could fit in there. By the time I climbed in there, my fat ass, there was a lot of real estate. I took up the gas tank space, so I was stuck under the car. So, climbing around trying to make room.
As long as you don't have to cut your way out, you're okay.
Yeah, well, I tell you, you'd say, oh, that's enough room, but they didn't make enough room for us big guys to get in that stuff.
Yeah, it can get
Climbing
tight.
around. And like I was given the last weekend, I don't know, I must have moved this car moved the height in about 4 different times trying to get the right angle, the right height to work on comfortably. And it's either I'm laying flat on my back or I got to be in a 45,
You have the car in jack stands?
Right now, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I raised it up. I want to try to get it a little higher. It's almost at a okay height. I just hate my knees. I can't be on my knees.
Yeah.
My knees are so bad, and trying to, like I said, I don't know. I wish I can find that right height.
And that's a problem when it's fixed like that because it's not easy to move. That's why I bought those quick jack lifts.
Yeah.
So you can move those up and down. It gives you that availability. Not that I've usually now just put the car all the way up and that's it. But
yeah,
it gives you the ability to do that.
Yeah. So like I said, I'm trying very hard to stay focused in that and not get fixated on next thing putting a lift in or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just try really hard. I got it. I don't know. I got it in an all right place. I really wish I could move it around more. Every time if I had to move it around, it's a pain in the ass.
It comes down to really what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that's why, for a lot of stuff, the rotisserie is really the great answer.
Yeah, I keep going back and forth with that, and to be honest, I'd buy one if I had something else to use. If I knew I was going to use it on something else, and I just can't see really buying it. I'd rather work through it instead of spending the money.
Yeah. I didn't use one on my car, but
I've already seen where it would be nice, and my only I don't know. Like I said, if I could just get it I haven't really found the right height yet for me to be comfortable working on it. So I had it too high, and then I couldn't reach through. I had to come up underneath to go through the trunk. Go through where the gas tank was because I couldn't on the outside of the car. I couldn't do anything with the mini tubs. I couldn't get to it unless I was going to climb through the car and go through. And again, I'm just trying to. I don't know. I don't want to bitch about it, but my knees can't take it.
Yeah.
So,
can't take it.
I was telling Louis before, my Mustang guy is working on his car at the shop because Mike is so benevolent he's letting him work on it at the shop,
Yeah.
which is great. 'Cause it's a fully functioning body shop, man. And they're doing work every day, so it's nice that he could do that. He let me do the same thing when my car was in there. And last week I went to check on him, and he used this some kind of like a very light bed liner material, and he just kind of painted the whole bottom of the car. So I'm under the car on the lift, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, okay, I see all these little pieces that he missed. I said, how did you put this on? Did you spray this? He goes, no, I put it on with a brush, like a
Yeah.
brush. So I said, dude, you got to put this stuff in a gun and reduce it down and mix it, and spray it. You get all these little spots that you missed. And then we noticed that he painted the exhaust and everything.
Yeah.
So Mike came over and says, did you paint the exhaust? He's like, yeah. He's like, what did you do that for? Well, it was under the car and it was kind of rusty. So I figured, he was like, dude, that's hopefully it'll burn off. But
It's gonna stink like a mother.
he said, yeah, you're not supposed to. I said, I know, obviously this exhaust should be changed at some point, but man, that's going to be. I said, well, now at least it won't be the only thing smoking in the car. That'll be from the motor and from the exhaust. So
It's been really, of course, I guess when I was younger and all the time I spent underneath the car, you never really paid attention to certain things.
Right.
Like I said, I lived under this car. If
Oh,
I wasn't putting a rear end in, I was putting a drive shaft. And if I wasn't putting a drive shaft in, I was putting a transmission in. Like I said, all the reason why I didn't have a girlfriend in high school because I smelled like 90 weight. Because I bathed in this 90 weight. Everything
Yeah.
You would think that I wore 90 weight cologne because
I had the same exact life.
and but it was really interesting. Now I had a guy, and this is right before we got married and bought the house. I had a guy put floors in. The floor's been replaced. The floor was rusted, and he put the floors and quarters on the car. And so, like I said, that part of the body work was all done. And it was funny being up underneath of it and going through, coming across, still seeing the factory red primer on the places that he didn't repair, and I'm like, wow, man, and of course, now he had used that, what's that primer, the what's the yellow stuff? I mean, the
yellow stuff is the catalytic, the stuff with the catalytic.
Yeah. So like where he did when he put the floors in, all that stuff, he sprayed.
Right.
And the car, when he did the quarters and the doors, and I took the original fenders, which at the time I wish I had repaired, but I chucked them, so I don't have any fenders. That's why I don't have any fenders.
Right.
And so I'm thinking the whole time, like, and of course, the old wheel wells, and like around the up front when the in the engine bay, not the engine bay, but on the outside of the engine bay, it was undercoating there. Somebody had put undercoating there, and I'm like, man, was this what you were talking about doing on the bottom of the floor? Is like, do I want to put it back to that red, that red oxide because it looks so cool?
Yeah.
And or do I undercoat it like with this guy the big thing everybody uses that truck bed liner stuff to.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what I used on my car too. But it was the oh shit, he told me the name of the product too, and I can't remember it. But
you painted the bottom of your car is is the color of your car.
No, it's black. Black. It's a bed liner. It's a very, very fine.
That picture you sent me, Ray. I don't know. Maybe
somebody else's car. It's a
I had too much tequila.
Yeah, it's a very fine black bed liner because I didn't want it to look like bed liner. I want it to kind of look like just paint, and it does.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it's black.
Yeah. See, I'm going back and forth. It was a bed liner because I was going back and forth, and
You can get bed liner in colors too. Get it in that red.
yeah. Well, I could always paint over the bed liner.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it is black. I'm sorry. I thought it was.
That's all right.
I thought
knew
it
it
was.
I knew it was.
Yeah, I know.
I was just wondering what the hell you were seeing.
Yeah. 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 I thought it was. Maybe, I guess what really throws me off, I still can't get over how silver your exhaust is.
Well, the headers are jet hot coated, and the pipes and mufflers, that's just Flowmaster, out of the box Flowmaster. I tell you now, speaking of that, I went and helped my friend Paul put the exhaust in his Scorpion. Justin's saying it was something with an S, but it wasn't Scorpion. But tintable, that's pretty cool. So I went over to Paul's house and we put the exhaust in his GTX last week, and he bought a TTI exhaust. So I was kind of ribbing Chris about it, but it ends up Chris had put a TTI exhaust on his car too. I never thought he'd go for the money, but he did.
Yeah.
And it was only because he said there was nobody else that made it. So Paul bought a 2.5-inch mandrel bent, beautiful system. It just lined up under that car, high and tight and perfect, and very, very nice. Worth
Yeah, I was surprised on how that would look really nice.
Yeah, worth the money. Definitely worth the money.
I have some tintable bed liner stuff that I had picked up because I thought about. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. I'm stuck between. I don't know if I really want the bed liner. I don't know. I just don't like the way it. Sometimes I don't like the way it looks.
Well, that's why I said you can use its varying degrees of coarseness, and I went with very, very fine, almost like paint. I didn't want it to look rough.
Yeah,
and it doesn't. It's like paint.
And then part of me, I love. I did it too. I've done it on other things, but I love having a. I guess a light gray, just that inner structure just being gray, and then having the regular paint. But I just love that. I guess the cleanness of that, just having
nice.
A gray. Like I said, if I paint it after I get done and do the floor, the floors, trunk, everything inside the car gray, that part of it, instead of, because I used to have that stupid, I hated the Ford speckle paint, the bed line, the trunk paint bullshit.
That's what we just did my trunk in.
Yeah. I did. I just don't. I don't know.
And that stuff wasn't available. It was not even in the catalogs. It wasn't available for years. It just so happened when I had my car in the shop, they called the auto parts store right by my house because they sell paint also. And they asked if they had the trunk paint. In my year, it's aqua and black.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice. And they said, yeah, we just got a case of it and we haven't had it for years. And he said, you know what? All right, we're going to come. So I happen to show up at the shop and he tells me, he says, hey, the guy right by your house has it. Pick me up 5 cans and bring it back tomorrow. All right. So I get to the store and there was 1 can missing out of the case. So I said, you know what? Give me the whole case. I'll take the whole case of it. And brought it back to the shop because they just can't find it.
Yeah.
The stuff. But
Hey,
what is it, black paint with like little blue things in it?
yeah, it's like yeah. I mean, Keith, it's what GM used in the trunks.
Yeah.
Time. And there
Yeah.
were a couple different colors. It was like gray and black. Mine was aqua with black.
Yeah.
Depends on what year. But the thing is, everybody's doing this. We're all using bedliner, we're using paint, pour 15, you name it. The reality is these cars aren't going to see the snow and the ice and the crud. They're going to live in a garage in the bad weather. They're never
Yeah.
going to have that stuff on them anymore.
Yeah, they're not going to see the elements anymore.
No, not at
They
all.
used to.
Let's take a minute to sign off.
Okay,
Real
good idea.
Oh. I didn't mean to offend anybody with your Trump paint.
Speckle paint, yeah.
So everybody in the chat and YouTube and Facebook, we'd like to thank you for coming to hang out with us. And we do this every Thursday night at 9 o'clock Eastern time. So we're going to sign off now so we don't run up our bill. And please check us out on powertubetv.com and you can see all of the previous shows. And we appreciate it. Next week, Thursday night, 9 o'clock Eastern time.